First, as always, we'll take a look at global energy commodities. Now, OPEC and OPEC Plus were to meet actually this week. That meeting was postponed to the 30th of November and is going to take place online because COP28 is happening. But Brent was up 72 basis points as at the close of trading. Now, OPEC is really struggling to get other OPEC Plus partners and minor producers on side with an extension of its production cuts, as we've seen U.S. oil inventories have also been up, but nonetheless, prices are up. $82 a barrel for Brent, and WTI in North America was down. Not a great week. Bullish there also for natural gas, but RBOB gasoline was up 12 basis points. Let's look at European equities markets now. Well, not a bad end to the week. The bulls had it, with the exception of London FTSE All Share Index, which closed at 7,481.66 points, down by 0.03%. The DAX in Germany, CAC in Paris, and IBEX in Spain were also all up at the end of the week. Did Wall Street mirror the same? Let's take a look at Wall Street as at Friday close of business. Well, actually, we're taking a look at the Nigerian stock markets before Wall Street. All Share Index on the NSE was up 25 basis points, closing at 71,230.43. A reasonable volume of deals, but value not so great at 4.27 billion. Of course, the equity market cap at 39.17 trillion naira. And finally, Wall Street, as I said before, not a bad outlook, except the Nasdaq Composite Index, mostly made up of tech stocks, closed the week on a down with 11 basis points down, but Dow Jones Industrial and S&P did end the week almost flattish, except Dow Jones up a bit by 33 basis points. And now for some other stories from around the world. Axis Bank, one of Africa's biggest banks, is close to finalizing a regulatory process to launch its first full banking service in Asia in the first quarter of 2024. The CEO of its holding company told Semaphore Africa the Asian bank plan is part of a wider global expansion target, which includes a strategy to expand more deeply into Francophone Africa, build closer ties with North Africa and across Europe, where it already has wholesale banking operations in London and Paris, which open in May. Herbert Wigwe, CEO of Axis Holdings, parent company of Axis Bank, said he and his team expect to receive approval from monetary authorities this side of Christmas. Wigwe declined to confirm the country in which the bank would launch in order to avoid preempting local regulators, but he added, "We will definitely be in Asia by the first quarter of next year." Good news, the Nigerian government has launched its Startup Engagement Portal 13 months after its Startup Act was signed into law. On Wednesday morning, Minister for Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, announced the launch of the Startup Support and Engagement Portal. It's said to be the doorway into the Startup Act. Every benefit or opportunity given under the Nigeria Startup Act hinges on the Startup Portal. Established under Section 30 of the Act, the portal is a one-stop shop for startups. It helps startups easily handle paperwork and registration with agencies like the CAC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Central Bank of Nigeria. Startups that also register on the portal will get access to fiscal and tax incentives like tax breaks. As Tijani said on his X handle, the portal will also help the Nigerian government select representatives for the Startup Consultative Forum. OpenAI, the company that created ChatGPT, has disclosed that it has agreed to a deal with Sam Altman to return as CEO. Of course, there was a lot of drama over the course of the week. The firm disclosed this on Wednesday, a few days after a drama that saw him sacked from the company he co-founded. Altman was hired by Microsoft a few days later. It said, "We have reached an agreement in principle for Sam to return as CEO with a new initial board of Brett Taylor, Larry Summers, and Adam D'Angelo." After Altman was sacked last week, Friday, hundreds of OpenAI staff threatened to quit if he was not returned, creating uncertainty about the future of the firm leading the AI revolution. Another tech story here. NVIDIA has reported revenues that more than tripled in the recent quarter as companies snapped up chips to power artificial intelligence. The Silicon Valley chip titan said it made a profit of $9.2 billion in revenues that soared to $18.1 billion compared to $5.9 billion in the same quarter a year earlier. Revenue from sales of chips tailored for data centers set a record in the quarter, hitting $14.5 billion according to the company. Retailers around the world were banking on discounts to pull in millions of shoppers on Black Friday, the kickoff to the key holiday shopping season, against a backdrop of financial pressure on households in the US, Europe, and elsewhere. With many consumers squeezed by persistent inflation and high interest rates, US holiday spending was expected to rise at the slowest pace in 5 years. Most major retailers slashed their seasonal hiring as well. A record 130.7 million people are expected to shop in stores and online in the US for Black Friday this year, as well as Cyber Monday, the National Retail Federation estimates. The event is known for crowds lining up at big box stores at dawn to scoop up discounted TVs and home appliances. Changpeng Zhao, the billionaire founder and CEO of Binance, has stepped down after pleading guilty to federal criminal charges of violating and causing a financial institution to violate the Bank Secrecy Act, according to a plea agreement. The plea is part of a $4.3 billion settlement with the Justice Department, according to court documents. The action against Binance and its founder, who will also pay a $50 million personal fine, was a joint effort by the DOJ, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and the Treasury Department that resulted in one of the largest corporate penalties ever issued in the US. Users of the crypto exchange have pulled out about $1 billion worth of Bitcoin following the news, though the platform still has about $65 billion worth of crypto assets.